I'm Ali Patterson from Fintech Finance. On this episode, we take a look at branch transformation. For this, we catch up with Jane Howard from NatWest to talk about the role that branches have. We also catch up with Javed Anjum from Glory Global Solutions and Martin Bischoff from Santander to find out how a bank can effectively transform their branch. So firstly, I went to catch up with Glory Global Solutions to find out about how the branchless banks haven't really been able to penetrate the market effectively.
There are a lot of factors at play here, but one thing that I'd like to point out specifically is that consumers are not tied to channels. So if you deliver a product through a specific way of delivery, i.e. whether it's internet or mobile or any other channel for that matter, you are limiting yourself to a niche. And as long as your business case or as business model is supporting that niche, it's great. But one of the after effects of this is that when you limit yourself to a specific channel, you also limit yourself in your ability to offer customers the choice. And because of regulatory requirements and other things, you also limit the number of products and services that you could offer your customers. And that could be one of the factors that eventually results in a low take-up of these technologies. When it comes to specifically mobile-based banks which have recently come out, I think it's a bit early to say anything because we haven't seen a full product set yet from all of them. It's still early days when it comes to the mobile-only banks because the entire product set is not out yet, and once they're able to compete on the entire portfolio, I think that's when we will be able to see how consumers are reacting to it. Equally, at the same time, one thing that we can say is that a much bigger proportion of customers are now used to mobile banking. And technology on mobiles has evolved so much over the years as compared to the internet 15, 20 years ago. Mobile, you can do a lot more. And as a result, a lot of those restrictions of what you could offer on a digital channel are removed. So we do look forward to seeing what happens.
I then caught up with NatWest to find out what role branches play when it comes to instilling customer loyalty. So I'm here at NatWest to talk a little bit about branch transformation.
I mean, it's fascinating really. I think many people thought that branches wouldn't be necessary in banking because of course you can all do it in mobile or online, but actually when you hear customers, it comes back to this concept of trust and having a relationship with somebody who you know is going to be looking after you, to be honest with you. So everything that we're hearing from our customers tells us that branches still have an important role to play. Clearly we don't need as many as we had in the past, but somebody wants to know where their bank is, they want to know that there's somebody there to talk to if they want to talk to somebody and to help them to get advice. So having that choice is really important. Even if customers only come in 4 or 5 times a year, it's still really important as part of the ongoing deep relationship that you have with the bank. We do have to close branches when they're not as busy, but where we close a branch, even when a customer doesn't use the branch, they still feel they've lost something. And that's because they just want to know there's somewhere for them to go in the event that they want to go and see somebody, which is understandable. You know, money is a very precious thing to people. People work hard to earn their money, so it's right that they look after it well. And that's where we have to strike the right balance between how many branches do we need and what's really important to customers. And what customers tell us is they do need branches, but what's really important is knowing that there's a named person that they can contact in case of need.
After hearing about the importance of branches, I wanted to find out what role tellerless branches and assisted services had moving to the future. So I've come to Santander to speak with Martin Bischoff to talk a bit about branch transformation.
So a tellerless branch, we only have those at the moment where we are in the same financial centre, local vicinity of another branch which offers all services. And basically what that is ensuring that the customer has access to the ATM and so forth. At that ATM they can put in cheques and deposit items the same way as they could at the counter. I think in terms of assisted service, what it is again is giving customers choice, right? So certain customers may still want to go to a counter, have a conversation with a cashier and so forth, and then actually see that receipt or so forth. What we're trying to show the customer with, though, through assisted service at an ATM or a desk, a side desk, is to actually show them, look, this is how the transaction is going to be undertaken. This is how you set up a payment, transferring between two accounts. And now, look, you can come in here and we'll help you with it. Or alternatively, next time you can do it at home. That's what it's about.
One of the biggest problems with branches is some of the buildings are very old indeed. So I want to look at what approach you would take if you were to build a branch network from scratch with no legacy.
The most important thing is that change is constant, and the change is going to continue over the coming years as well. And as people's lifestyle change as well, the bank has to change with that too. And it's that change that we have to make easy. Today, to change from a specific way of working to how things are evolving digitally, it's a very cumbersome and complicated task, and a very expensive task as well. And what would be ideal, what I would like to do or if I were to design a branch of the future, is to make it more flexible, so that we can to make it more open banking, to add newer technologies as and when they are made available, and to adapt to consumers' lifestyle, to make it more convenient for customers to come to the branch or to use any channel at any time they'd like to use it, and to position branches in locations wherever consumers' lifestyle is taking them. And that is going to continue to evolve, and as a result, my branch in the future is going to be one that is open, that allows future technologies to be made available, or future products and services to be made available easily in that branch. And that would be the first thing. How do we make it easy to plug different technologies in the most easiest possible way? And to adopt that change, that change is constant. Change never stops. And with that, it's all about creating those connectors that allow us to introduce new and advanced services in the future without having to replace everything that we've got.
Look, I think the branch is a really important complement to digital channels. So digital, with where we've got to today as a society, is really good for everyday banking. And it's really good for doing simple things. And some customers are quite happy to do complex things using mobile. Like me, I was quite happy to do my mortgage using mobile. But we find that the vast majority of our customers still would like a branch, for example, for opening their account. So they build a relationship, is the feedback that we get. They want to see somebody, meet them, know them, and then they're quite happy to do their banking in a different way. But that initial relationship, many customers prefer to do that face to face. So it absolutely complements the ongoing banking relationship. Equally, you find that somebody might start a loan overnight at home on our online system. Something happens and they actually want to come in and get help. So they can then complement what they've started by coming in, and we can help them. When we talk about small business, there's lots of different types of small business. If you've got a small business that's very dependent on cash, such as a hairdresser or many others, then the branch is really important to them, or the post office that we've signed up a deal with, because they need to be able to deposit their cash and be able to draw out cash. And we've introduced automation, some of it's behind us here, so that our small business customers and our large corporate customers actually, they can come in, they can drop cash, it counts it in seconds for them. That helps them with their cash flow. Pubs in particular now, they may have just banked once a week. It's so easy to drop the cash. They can come in 2 or 3 times a week, drop their cash, and also get a change order that suits them as well. So the branch is really important for many small businesses, whilst there's still so much cash in society. But we've also all seen contactless usage increase. And as you see contactless usage increase, we're beginning to see a reduction in the amount of coin cash. We're beginning to see a gradual reduction in all cash, but nothing like the reduction that I think everybody anticipated.
The role of the branch is changing. Still very, very critical, but it's changing. So before, the most core usage of a branch was to actually go in and pay cash in, draw cash out, or pay a check in, maybe cancel a payment or something like that. Now, many of those activities you can either do online or you can do through an ATM. However, for moments of truth, when customers' circumstances change, when someone's making a big purchase, maybe a mortgage or an investment, when someone wants to have a query or have a complaint, then they very often want to see someone face to face. And that's where the branch will act as a constant alternative channel. And it's really important that our customers have access to the 3 channels so that they can do it over the phone, do it through the net, or face to face. If you've actually made a purchase or you conduct your banking through a bank that offers all of those options, that's got to be a strength to certain segments. Now, there may be a segment of customers out there which are truly just thinking digital and are happy with that. But I think an awful lot of people, most way people purchase and so forth in life, is they like to know that they can fall back upon, whether it be a contact centre or whether it be a branch, as well as a digital alternative.
After hearing about the branch and its role in customer loyalty, I was curious to hear about how its role will evolve. With that in mind, lastly, where do you see the branches moving forward? Are we going to see an awful lot more automation? Are we going to see, there are some banks, Metro Bank, for example, growing their branch footprint. Are we going to see more branches or less branches? What's in your crystal ball?
Yeah, so I think if you think about a Metro, they've only got a small number of branches, so you probably would expect them to grow to get some coverage across the UK. For NatWest, we have significantly more branches than Metro, and I think we need fewer branches. But we need sufficient that we can serve all our customers within a reasonable travelling distance. Then, of course, it's complemented by video. So the fact that, some customers who, perhaps it's not that easy actually to get to the branch as you get older and everything, the fact that they will be able to video in and see the person that they know will be really valuable.
It's probably not the right thing to focus purely on the branch, because in the end, all the channels have to work together, and we often like to talk about a connected branch, a branch that works seamlessly with all the other channels within the bank. And the role of the branch in that is to really complement and to offer choice and to offer more convenience to customers and in whatever they are trying to do and whatever service they're trying to get. There's a whole body of research that suggests that consumers go online and they do all their research online on what products or services they're interested in. But once they've chosen or shortlisted a product, they would then like to go and speak to somebody before they make the final buying decision. And that is a part of the overall buying cycle that will probably remain inside the branch. A lot of it over time might move to digital, but there's a whole host of consumers that still find it secure and convenient to go and speak to somebody face to face. And that value will stay inside the branch. When you look at the data of the consumer interactions with the bank across the various channels, you'll find that the easier the channel is, more interactions there are. So mobile these days has the most interactions. And the best example I can give is that a few years ago, you might go to the branch to check your balance. When you had to go to the branch to check your balance, you probably go once a week. But today you can check it whenever you want. So you might check it 10 times a day. And that increases the number of interactions that you have on that particular channel. But that divides your interactions across the channels based on what is convenient for you. I find it very convenient to check my balance on mobile, and I do that there. But when it comes to asking a specific question, or when I have to deal with volume cash as an SME, I like to go to the branch. And those interactions are pretty much flat over the years. The interactions which are taking place inside the branch are the ones that the consumers feel these are important interactions, and that's why they go to the branch. So the quality of interactions within the branch is likely to increase as we reduce and offload more and more simple transactions away from the branch. And the other thing I'd like to share is that the branch is one of those channels, and equally, once again, all the channels within the banking environment work together to offer a great consumer experience. It's not the job of one channel or the other. And that's why if somebody runs out of data, they can go to the branch and get what they wanted to get. And if they can't go to the branch, they can perhaps use phone banking. And it's this flexibility that has a lot of value for the customer, and we shouldn't forget that.
On the next episode of Fintech Finance, we take a look at point of sale technology. For this, we catch up with Avi to hear about their Albert system.